Hello, my name is Jaime Cortes. I'm with Paine West Insurance. I am from Toppenish, Washington. That's located on the Yakima Reservation in South Central Washington State. I spoke briefly with Mervin Hill, and he gave me your name, Carlee Medicine Blanket. And so this video is put together for you two. I know you were out of the office today. But I just wanted to put together this video, kind of introduce myself and share with you this information on PRF, which is Pasture, Rangeland, Forage. It's a federal program. It's part of the crop insurance program. And so kind of tell you how I got your information and came about this. I was on LinkedIn and I saw the Native American Agricultural Fund video, and they were just sharing information about, just issues and hunger and needs on tribal land, Indian country. And like I said, I'm from Toppenish on the Yakima Reservation. So it's near and dear to my heart to, help the people of my community here down in the valley. And so as they were talking about information, led me to this article, just the highlights of the 2017 census, right? So it happens every 5 years. So I think that the new census should be coming out, sometime later this year, if not early next year. But this was the information that I found on American Indian, Alaska Native producers that are in agriculture, right? So a bunch of really good information, and it talks about, farmers, ranchers that are of course, American Indian, Alaska Native, that how many acres they have, et cetera, percentages, a lot of really good data and information and by farm specialization. So this information just led me to go, look at some more information, the NASS report. This was, I think, produced in 2019, but it's from that census in 2017. And so it lists American Indian reservations listed by state. And so I came across the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, this information. And Pasture, Rangeland, Forage, let me come up here. It's, like I said, it's a part of RMA, right? The Risk Management Agency. They oversee, crop insurance. This actually started in PRF, Pasture, Rangeland, Forage, started in about 2016. So this information you see pilot, right? This is from from its early days, and it's in every state and every county as well. And what it does is it looks at the lack of precipitation in grids, right? The country, if you will, or the world is made up of grids. They look at grids, and they track the rainfall in each of these grids. Up here in the north, it's about a 12 by 12 mile grid. Near the equator, it's a 17 by 17 mile grid. But up here, it's about a 12 by 12 mile grid. And so they track the precipitation in those grids. And, any farmer, rancher, landowner, including reservations, tribes, if they have any type of pasture land, rangeland, forage, hay type of operations, well, if there's lack of precipitation, then there's not enough forage to produce. And then what does that do to your operation, your business, right? You lose money. And so this is a way for farmers, ranchers, landowners, including tribes and reservations, to make some extra money in it. It's been paying out. In fact, I know that the Navajo Nation, they have the largest PRF policy. I believe they've got over 17 million acres into the policy. I know here in Washington State, the Colville tribe, kind of in the northeast part of the state in Okanagan County, they have about over 1 million acres in the PRF policy. I just spoke with the Yakima Nation about this, and so looking forward to going back and speaking to more of the maybe tribal council there. Nez Perce in Idaho, in Lapwai, Idaho. Spoke with them briefly, and so I hope to go to one of their meetings and share some more information and details on PRF to them as well. But it's a great program. As I mentioned, it's been paying out, and you can use the money for whatever else you need. This is a fact sheet, and I'll share this in an email with you. This is some other information on how it works that I'll also share in the email with you. But when I was speaking with Mervin briefly, Mervin, I apologize. Can't read my chicken scratch always. When I was speaking with Mervin briefly, I asked him how many acres Cheyenne River Sioux tribe has, and he mentioned 1.4 million acres and then another 400,000 in allotted acres. And so what I did was put together just a couple of different scenarios for you to see. I know there's going to be a lot of numbers, but this data is taken from NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and then they disperse it to RMA, right? And RMA distributes this data to approved insurance providers, farmers, ranchers, producers, et cetera, right? It's all on USDA's website. You can look it up as well and see for yourself. But what I've done is put together, just some information. It's basic, but I think it's really good. And you can look at the loss ratios here in a quick second. Let me get a tool to highlight. There we go. So I know that the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe is kind of located in South Dakota. And I think from what I read, there are a few counties. And so I just selected one county, but I'm sure your land is in several different counties. I think it was Dewey County. Got it here. Dewey County, Hakon County, Meade, Stanley, and Zyback. Hope I pronounced those right. But I just chose one county just so that you can see how it works and how it plays out. I mentioned grids, right? This is the grid that I selected. Again, I don't exactly know where the specific land is, but this was just a grid that I selected in Dewey County. That kind of was near those other counties that I mentioned. And 1.4 million acres, and you've got to disperse your coverage throughout the entire year, and it's got to equal to 100%, right? So coverage is you can select at minimum, you have to select at minimum 2-month intervals, and at maximum it would be 6 of those 2-month intervals. And so the intervals that I selected, I think they paid out the best. And it was January, February, that's one interval. March, April, that was another interval. May, June, September, October, and then November and December. And so what this percentage is, so 30% of those 1.4 million acres would be in January, February. 20% of those 1.4 million acres would be in March, April. 10% in May, June, 10% in September, October, and then 30% in November, December. And then different productivity factors. And productivity factor is basically a percentage of the county value of that land, right? And so again, we can talk about that a little later. Total coverage, total premium. Total premium is what obviously is due, right? It is a 51% subsidy. So at 90% coverage level, there's a 51% subsidy. So the federal government will pay that extra 51% of your premium, right? So total producer premium, that the producer is the farmer, the rancher, the landowner. This would be that producer premium. I know it's kind of scary, right? But you'll see what I'm going to talk about soon, and to show you how great this plan is. And especially with that many acres, it's a great plan of insurance. So Total premium, right? That is the producer premium plus the 51% subsidy, and that equals the total premium. And with these plans of insurance, crop insurance, the way it works is you don't pay your premium until the following year, okay, until the next year. And it's usually end of September. So the great thing is with crop insurance, right, is you don't have to pay that up front, because the government knows that, you know, we need agriculture, we need livestock, we need to feed livestock to be able to feed people, right? We need that forage to feed our livestock, right? Because it's part of people's business, it's part of people's livelihoods. And so the government understands that. The government wants farmers, ranchers, producers to be able to make a living, you know, and then, you know, they have these crop insurance plans, right? In case disaster happens, something, you know, anything happens, especially with weather and events, etc. They can pay for several different things, right? But they don't have to pay until the end of the policy the following year. So what I want to share with you, and this information here, this 100, is basically the same information that I have. Sorry, here, 150, right? It's the same information. It's just a different productivity factor. And the productivity factor, I said, it's a value of it's a percentage of the county value, right? So at 1.4 million acres, you know, these are the intervals that I selected for you to see. Anywhere you see purple or shades of purple, that means that those years and those intervals, they paid out. So the data that I have is from 2011 to 2022, and 2022 is not over yet. So that's why you see these lines here. It's not over yet. And data goes back to all the way to 1951, right? And so they use the formulas. It's math equations, and then they can factor in, you know, based on the precipitation in that grid. They plug in the numbers, et cetera. RMA does what they do, and then they can see if that interval paid out based on the trigger, the level. So what this means, the level that I select is 90%. So if rainfall drops below 90% in that grid in those intervals, that means that the farmer, the rancher, landowner is going to get paid. Okay. So the data that I have is from 2011 to 2022. And remember that where you see shades of purple, that means it's paid out. This is the exciting part, right? I mean, we're dealing with Mother Nature, of course, so nothing is ever guaranteed. So, but the data is the data. And from 2011 to 2022, if we would have went with the same plan, you know, same intervals, same coverages, the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe would have a running total of $22,175,288, right? So that's your indemnity minus your premium. So from 2011 to 2022, that's the running total. So if we do the math, I think it's over what is that, 2 million a year, or about 2 million a year. I haven't done the math. I'm just kind of doing it in my head. So you can see here, wherever you see yellow, right? If we take that year, wherever you see yellow, that means that whole year paid out. If you see white, that means that year did not pay out, which means you had to pay your premium or a portion of your premium. If you see 0, that means you had to pay your full premium. If you see any number, that means you had to pay a portion of your premium, if that makes sense. But again, big picture, long term, this plan is paying out. That's at 100% productivity factor. What I like to show producers, ranchers, farmers, landowners is the 150% productivity factor, because that's where, yes, it is a higher premium, but the indemnities, what you get paid, is much, much greater. Okay, so same information, same data, it's just at a higher productivity factor. Okay, so the years, those 3 years that we saw above, right? 2019, 2018, and then 2016, those years did not pay out. So it's the same thing here. 2019, 2018, 2016, they didn't pay out, but all the other years paid out. Okay, now the running total from 2011 to 2022 at 150% productivity factor right there is $33,262,937. That's the net total, the running total, which is, again, big picture, long-term. These plans of insurance are making money. I know that I ran some scenarios for the Yakima tribe here, and it was like 10 out of 10 years paid out. It depends on the grid, of course. It depends on how you structure the plan, the coverages, the percentage. And so what I like to do is I like to structure it to make sure we get as many yellow years as possible, because we want you to make money off of these, because you need it. Landowners, anybody who's farming, ranching, they need help, they need assistance. And this is a way to do that. So really quickly, I'm kind of going through this pretty quick, but these are the years that I've selected. Again, I can go back to 1951 if I want to. Here's the premium. This premium is the producer premium, and it corresponds with the information up here, right? 2.692 million. So you can see that here. And then indemnity, that's what would be due, okay, to the landowner. The net per acre. And then the net total is, again, your indemnity minus your premium. That's what you would have made. So it's, people always ask, well, how much did I make last year? Or how much would I have made this year? Or, 2 years ago? Well, this is what you would have netted, 3.5 million in 2022. So far, the year's not even over yet. In 2021, you would have netted 9.6 million. In 2020, you would have netted 5 million. In 2019 and 2018, there was just more rain those years and all throughout the entire year. And so you have had to pay your full premium. In 2017, 5 million. In 2016, you can see here the loss ratio was 79, which, if you remember what I said, if you see anything that has a number here, that means you have to pay a portion of your premium. So in 2016, instead of paying the 2.69 million in premium, you would have had to pay 571,000 in premium. But again, going back 2015, you'd have netted 5.9 million, 2014, 2 million, 2013, 2.1 million. So you can see that this, it pays out. Again, farmers, ranchers, landowners, it's a way to supplement other income. Yes, this is Mother Nature. Nothing is ever guaranteed, but based on the data, this is RMA's data. This is federal data, right? It pays. And so I'm super excited to share, but I'm really passionate about this. I've been doing this for, almost a year now. And it excites me that farmers, producers, landowners can make money who have any type of grazing, pasture land, hay, forage operations. They need the help, they need support. And so this is a way to do that. As I mentioned, Yakima tribe, I'm going to have a follow-up meeting with them. I know that NESPERS, again, I'm going to be invited to one of their subcommittee meetings, hopefully in the next couple weeks. And then Colville already has a PRF policy. Navajo, they have a PRF policy. And so I'm trying to get it to as many landowners, including reservations and tribes. I want them to see the potential of what it can do for them. And so I hope this interests you, and I hope it's an opportunity for us to dialogue and And, we can play with numbers, look at the different counties, look at different grids, and kind of explore what this actually would look like for you and the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. Thank you for your time. Mervin, thanks for taking my call. Carlee, Medicine Blanket, thank you. Hopefully we'll be able to connect soon. And if you have any other questions, feel free to call me or email me. I'm going to share all of this in the email, all these PDFs and tabs that I shared with you today, so you can just kind of dissect it. But I'll definitely give you a call next week. Maybe not Monday morning at 8 a.m. because probably have a lot going on after a weekend, but maybe that afternoon, just to give you some time to see this and dissect it. So thank you again for your time. It's my pleasure to share this information. I love it. I'm passionate about it. So I look forward to speaking with you, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and we'll end this video call. Hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to hopefully speaking with you soon. All right. Have a good weekend.